Howdy everybody, welcome back. We're having a snowstorm here, so I'm going to finish up on this one that I had, which was part one. Watercolor, and I had explained in part one that this is a painting I'm making from a reference photo that someone embroidered. They actually embroidered this landscape, and it just looks so pretty that I just wanted to make it into a painting. So that's what this is all about. So we'll just get right into it. So I've got a bunch of brushes out here, and I've got my paints and my water and a little bit of paper towel. So I ended up, with just finishing this part, these different parts. Oh, I'm also using, I meant to mention, I am also using some acrylic in this, incorporated in with my colors as well. Watercolor and acrylics work very well together. Okay, so right now I'm going to get some green. I think that's a sap green, and I'm going to add a little blue in it. Because right here I'm going to put this, I've got a pointed brush, round pointed tip brush here. And I had been making a whole lot of, as you can see, foliage all through it, all around it. And we're going to take some yellow and we're going to add some yellow in there, and we're going to make that a little darker green here. Oh, I like that color, so I think I'll put some of that green here and there. It's kind of pretty. And as you can see, we have layers. We have, I started here, we have the lighter, and then we have another medium value, and then we have a darker value. So we've got, and it gives it depth and makes, for depth in your painting. So that's really good. So really what I want to do this morning is I want to add some more foliage. I'm going to change to a flat brush, and I don't want it to be very wet. I want this to be quite, oh, I forgot to change my white, my yellow. Well, okay, we'll just use some of the acrylic yellow. Okay. So I'm going to kind of mix some yellow and some green, and I'm going to kind of dry brush this on. This is what this is called. It's a dry brushing. This is this bigger trees, these 3 sets of trees here. And it's kind of a more, well, it would be a kind of more pronounced tree. It's one of those mornings, folks. You know how you have those mornings? Well, that's what I'm having. So it's all right. We just go with it. And in here, I'm going to stick some greens. Still kind of dry brushing. I'm going to add, I get a little darker green, and even a little darker green here in some of the areas. We just want to finish this one up. Oh, I think I must have had a notification. Well, anyway, hopefully that won't happen again. Okay, so we've got this pretty tree here. I'm going to dip into a little bit of my very light acrylic green, and just for some texture, I'm going to kind of wiggle it in there. I scraped, kind of scraped it, dry scraped it in there. All right, so now we're going to make sure we wash that brush off and wipe it off really well, because it was acrylic. And then I'm going to go back. Sorry for my voice, folks. It's still messed up from the cold. Who knows how long I'll have to deal with that. We'll just have to see. All right, that water is too close. Okay, so in here, I also wanted some trees, but you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to get some red. I would like to have something sort of really colorful back here. We've got a lot of greens, and I'm going to just add it in around the back side, indicating, you know, that there's some other beautiful looking red bushes back here. Trying to leave a little bit of white space within there, get some darks on one of the sides, and see how that really adds a nice touch there to that whole thing. Let's see. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to get a different brush, and I'm going to, this time I'm going to use, I guess I'll probably end up using the flat brush again to put the foliage on this tree. So let's get some green going on. Whoops, sorry for, no matter what I do, I can't not shake that thing. So let's just get some darker, because it's, you know, over here. So we're gonna put on some, and we're gonna get some other greens. So we have, so it looks like we have layers of greens. This is what my whole, get some of that acrylic green, light green, to give some texture. When you put that on without a lot of water, you get, you know, texture. And then I'm going to wash that out, wipe it off, get some orange, and stick that in there a little bit. Some orange, because we have like orange in other parts of the of this, and I actually wanted to do that. I actually wanted to also, oh nice, there we go. Yes, I forgot to do that in the first part. That's nice. Okay, and we'll put some here, because I want to have, so important to have harmony in your paintings. This one is, you know, really coming out quite nice. Taking some red, and I'm going to scratch it around. And I'm also going to come over here and scratch it around, give it a little darker over here. And then I also want to take some yellow and dab it to the fronts of this part here for the highlight. And I want, this is acrylic, because it will really stand out on your page. It adds that nice luster, I call it. And then I'm gonna add a little bit on this side of this tree, maybe like this. And again, what I had explained in part 1, excuse my voice, was that this is actually mixed media paper. And I was hoping it would work with the watercolor, but I did have mixed media paper one time that did work with paper very well, but this one isn't. And it was on sale. I happened to be at Michael's the other day, and I got this because it was 50% off. You buy one, get 50% off. So I chose this. Now I kind of wish I didn't, but it's okay. I can work with it and make it work no matter anyways. But what I did was I took some Modge Podge, which I did on a watercolor pad of paper one time, worked awesome, to make it kind of be a block, although it's just not working out so good on this one. And in part 1, I was able to keep it flat. It's starting to come up now because it's drying, and some of the water is causing it to, you know, move, but it's okay. This is for tutorial purposes. So now we have the water, we have the sky, we have some trees going on here. Now what we need to do, I gotta take some white here, and I wanted these, whoops, a little bit too, these to be, I really kind of wanted these to be birch trees. So I'm gonna grab this white here. This happens to be my acrylic white, because I didn't fill my white tray. I meant to do that last night and I didn't. That's okay. So we're gonna just kind of dab and put these white ones in here. And the side of my brush, we're gonna just, you know, like go around inside the foliage to indicate branches, right? Trunks and branches and so forth. Okay. So along with that, I need to take this is water, so we need reflections, right? So, whoop, a little too pink there. So we want to reflect, and reflections are always, you know, kind of wiggly. So just kind of put our tree, you know, our reflections of the tree. We want to have some reflections of the, and reflections are usually a tad bit darker, so let's get some reflections. Well, I want a little more lighter than that. You know, just kind of, I'm just going to kind of do this. And I'm going to come over here, a little darker here, kind of get some reflections going on here. I'm just kind of going to just sort of wiggle it around, all like around the water. I'm actually kind of dancing it around the water so that it's, because that's kind of the way it is with reflections, right? They just sort of dance everywhere. So we're gonna just dance them around and get those reflections in there. Some blues, some greens. And there we go. And that's probably fine for the reflections. Make sure you wash your brush and wipe it off very well because of the acrylic. Then I'm going to take one of my really small pointed brushes. If I put one on the table here, oh, this should work. I want a couple of birds, so I'm going to take my sepia and my very, very small tipped brush. I'm just going to come up here and see, we're just going to, add a few little birds hanging around. I love to put the birds in. And put as many as you want. That's, you know, less is better, so they say. So we have that. Now what else can we do? Well, you know what else we can do with this? We can kind of brighten up. Oops. I have some Indian yellow here. And I'm gonna, oh yeah, there we go. A little red and a little Indian yellow. Kind of put that into that tree. And then add a little more of the yellow on the edges here to indicate the nice. So that, you know, that's not bad there. According to the, what do you call it? The reference photo that is, that I'm working off of, which, as I said before, is actual embroidery. Very pretty, very beautiful work. I didn't do it, but somebody did. And we have, I think we're going to get a little bit of, just to add, you know, how the birch trees have little sepia, and I got green mixed in and red, and all kind of, we'll just add some. These are very small trees, so I'm just going to dot in, you know, that kind of just depicts it a little bit better. And you know what? We kind of lost our white for the trees. So let's just put that back in. That's good enough. And then actually we need to do the green for the foliage of off the top of the trees. So there we go. We have, you know, a few little things going on there. And there's a whole mess of things we could do with this, but for the sake of short videos, especially on a part 2, I'm going to leave it just like that. I mean, if you had ideas, you could, oh, whoops, wait a minute. I see a couple of little areas here that I have not worked in. We cannot do that. So let me go to the green. Darker green, maybe some red in there. And back here, we have some foliage that didn't get put in. My goodness, we don't want to we don't want to do that. So I'm going to even add to it. I'm going to put a nice big bunch of trees. Nope, my soup's done. It's one of those. It's a stormy day. I'm not sure why stormy days make me think of soup, but they do. So every time it seems like it storms, I end up making a soup, which is great. Anyways, be nice to have that for lunch. This time it was a chicken, a bunch of vegetables, some beans, butter beans, I think they were called. So it'll be tasty. A bunch of spices. Okay, I'm gonna add in one more deal here, and this is the acrylic yellow right there, and then I'm going in with the red, and I'm going to kind of add a little more into that tree. It needed to be a little more of something. And you know, I really think that we will, let me look at it real quick here. It's a simple painting. I didn't want it to be anything too long and too complicated, something that you can definitely do. Take a look at the painting to see the different facets, the layering, the light and the darks, you know, the shadows, the reflections in the water, leaving white spaces, you know, in the sky, in the water, making sure you get your highlights, you know, on your buildings and trees. And so just, you know, do whatever you want, slow it down, zoom in, whatever. And don't forget to sign your paintings. I'll be signing it. And come back, check out some other of my tutorials. I'm sure they'll be helpful to you, especially if you're just starting out. I'm trying very hard to keep these beginner friendly. Whoops, I'm sorry, I had to get rid of that notifications. I forgot to turn them off. And so that I can help you with little things to get started, because the getting started is the hardest part. It was for me. I think it is for most everybody. So mine are quite beginner friendly and all about helping you to truly get started if you desire to. If you just desire to watch, that's fine too. So check out the other tutorials. It's a fairly new channel. I had to make a new one. So I'm kind of starting all over again, but that's okay. No harm, no foul. Everybody starts at the beginning and starts somewhere. So have a wonderful day, folks, and bye for now.